For 9 years, How I Met Your Mother sold the world a beloved comedy watched by millions. But behind that laugh track, plenty stayed hidden. A finale so hated it made worst of all-time lists. An ending shot in secret years early, the actors sworn to silence. A happier version of it, quietly buried on a DVD. And one of its stars fighting cancer in secret while you laughed along.
Tell people what? Tell people what? Tell people what? Tell people what? Tell people...
These are 10 facts CBS kept off the marketing. Let's get into it. The final scene of this show was filmed in 2006, 9 years before you ever watched it air. The two kids on that couch signed legal documents promising to keep it a secret, and one of them now says she barely remembers shooting it at all.
Come on, Dad. Mom's been gone for 6 years now. It's time.
While the cast sold the world a light, breezy comedy about finding love in New York, one of its stars was quietly fighting for her life.
Yeah? How long did it take for you to tell Marshall my biggest secret in the world? 5 minutes?
And there is a second, happier ending to this entire series that most people have never seen. How I Met Your Mother ran for 9 years on CBS, and a lot of what made it work happened in places the promos never showed you. Some of it was practical, some of it was strategy, and some of it they just did not want you thinking about while you watched. These are 10 facts CBS kept off the marketing. Let's get into it. Number 10, and it is the one that breaks people's brains a little. That laugh track you heard for 9 seasons? There was no studio audience. Almost every multi-camera sitcom you grew up on, Friends, Seinfeld, Cheers, was shot in front of a live crowd reacting in the moment. This show did not do that, because the story jumps around in time constantly. Flashbacks, flash forwards, future Ted narrating over all of it. You simply cannot film it live and in order. So the producers shot it single camera, like a drama, on an empty soundstage, over about 3 days per episode instead of the usual few hours. Co-creator Craig Thomas told the Chicago Tribune that filming in front of a live audience would have been impossible, joking that it would, in his words, blur the line between audience and hostage situation.
Happy and proud to welcome back to Wesleyan from the graduating class of 1997, which is very recent, Craig Thomas and Carter Bays.
Thank you. We're so happy to be here.
you, Scott.
Thank you.
The laughter was added later, recorded from a real crowd, but one that was watching the finished, edited episode on a screen. So every laugh after a Barney line is real. It just came from people watching the same cut you eventually did. Once you know it, you cannot unhear it. Number 9. The whole thing is basically a true story, just not Ted's.
So, do you have a girlfriend?
Yeah. Not sure about the whole long-distance thing, though. It's like Descartes says, in order to determine whether there's anything we can know with certainty, we first have to doubt everything we know. Yeah.
Carter Bays and Craig Thomas met as writers, and at the William S. Paley Television Festival back in 2006, Thomas admitted the core characters were lifted straight from their own lives. Ted, the hopeless romantic narrator, is based on Bays. Marshall, the big loyal goofball, is Thomas. And Lily is based on Thomas's real wife, Rebecca, who he started dating in his freshman year of college, which is almost exactly the Marshall and Lily backstory. So when the show nailed those lived-in details about long relationships, the petty fights, the inside jokes, the way two people finish each other's sentences, that was not a writer's room guessing at it. It was two guys writing down things that had actually happened to them, which honestly makes the version of New York in this show feel more real. And it makes you wonder how much of Ted's worst dating history came straight from Bays' own 20s. Number 8 is a small thing that quietly drove fans insane for almost a decade: the pineapple.
There's a girl in there!
I know, and a pineapple. I know.
Ted wakes up hungover next to a woman he does not remember and a pineapple he cannot explain. And then future Ted's narration drops the line that would haunt the writers forever. They never found out where the pineapple came from. They said it out loud, on the record. Mystery permanently unsolved. Carter Bays later admitted that was a real mistake, that writing themselves into that corner was a hard lesson, and that the line was one they never should have said. But here's the part CBS did not put on your TV. They actually filmed the answer. There is a deleted scene from the season 9 episode Daisy where Ted learns the pineapple came from the captain, who keeps one outside his door as an old sea captain's symbol of hospitality.
Should have been an old friend of mine from Exeter, George Van Smoot. But you can and should call me the captain. The captain?
That scene got cut for time, and instead of letting it disappear, the studio released it online through BuzzFeed in 2014. So the answer to one of the most famous running gags in sitcom history does not actually live in the show. It lives in a web clip most fans never even knew existed. Number 7. During season 4, both of the show's female leads were pregnant at the same time, and the production went to absurd lengths to hide it. Allison Hannigan, who played Lily, and Kobe Smulders, who played Robin, were both expecting. But Bays and Thomas were not ready to bring babies into the story yet, so the costume and prop departments got creative. Giant purses, oversized coats, furniture parked in front of people. In one episode, they leaned all the way in and gave Lily a bloated belly by writing in that she won a hot dog eating contest, just so they had an excuse for the bump. And here's the detail most people miss. Near the end of season 4, Lily basically vanishes for a stretch of episodes, gone from episode 20 through 23. In the story, it gets hand-waved. The real reason is that Hannigan had gone off to give birth to her daughter in real life.
Jerk!
That was fun.
Wait for it. Nine!
So a main character disappearing from a chunk of the season was not a plot decision. It was a maternity leave the show dressed up and hoped you would not question. Television is held together with tape and timing far more than anyone likes to admit. Number 6. They made you wait 8 full years to meet the mother, and for most of that time, they were not even sure who she would be. The entire premise of the show is Ted explaining how he met his kid's mother, and yet the actual mother, Tracy McConnell, played by Kristen Milioti, does not show up until the very last seconds of the season 8 finale in May 2013. 8 seasons of build-up for one shot of her boots and that umbrella. But the bigger secret is what was happening behind the scenes in the early years. This show was never a guaranteed hit. It lived on the bubble. So Bays and Thomas had a backup plan. If CBS had canceled the series early, the mother was going to be Victoria, the baker Ted dated all the way back in season 1.
Actually, I'm Tracy.
Still Ted.
And that, kids, is the true story of how I met your mother.
Bays has said they really did have an 8-year plan, and it just happened to stretch to 9. So the woman the entire series is named after was, for years, basically a placeholder who could have been swapped out depending on a renewal phone call. The love of Ted's life was, at one point, a scheduling decision. Real quick before we keep going, I want to know the episode that made you fall in love with this show, not the finale. Everybody has feelings about the finale. The one episode that made you stay. Drop it in the comments. I read them. Number 5, and this one sounds like a joke until you see the numbers. Britney Spears saved How I Met Your Mother from getting canceled. In early 2008, the show was still scrapping for its life in the ratings. Then Britney guest starred as Abby, a love-struck receptionist in the episode 10 Sessions, which aired March 24, 2008.
Hi, Ted. I'll let her know.
Telepathically?
That's funny. That's funny, smart, and great.
I see people reading that on the subway and I just want to shout, "Get a life, people!"
Ted, I found your book.
What?
Your book, The Power of Me, I think you accidentally dropped in the garbage.
What? No, that's not mine. I've never seen that book.
No, you were reading it in the lobby.
What? No, you have me confused with someone else.
No, look, right here, from the personal library of Ted Mosby. That's you.
That episode pulled around 10.5 million viewers and hit the show's highest rating ever in the key 18 to 49 demographic. And the context makes it bigger. This was Britney's first real acting work after a brutal, very public stretch in her personal life. Filmed only about 2 months after she had been placed on an involuntary psychiatric hold that January. The cast and creators had actually been nervous about bringing in a celebrity that huge. And afterward, Carter Bays did not hedge about it at all. In a Reddit question and answer session, he said Britney Spears rescued the show from ever being on the bubble again. A pop star a lot of people had written off in that exact moment is part of the reason this series got 9 years. Let that one sit. Number 4. The single most watched episode of the entire series is also the one most fans wish they could erase. The two-part finale, called Last Forever, aired March 31st, 2014, and pulled 13.13 million viewers. That is the highest-rated, most-watched episode How I Met Your Mother ever made. People showed up, and then a massive chunk of them turned on it within the hour. The finale killed off the mother, undid Barney and Robin's marriage, and sent Ted right back to Robin, unwinding years of story in about 40 minutes.
Hi! I was just,
Come on up.
The backlash was instant and savage. The site E! voted it one of the worst series finales in television history, and to this day, it gets grouped with the most divisive endings ever made, sitting right next to Lost and Game of Thrones. So the show's biggest audience moment and its biggest creative misfire are the exact same episode, 9 years of goodwill, cashed out in a single night. Number 3 ties straight into that, and it is one of the wildest production stories in modern TV. The ending was already shot, 8 years before it aired.
Come on, Dad. Mom's been gone for 6 years now. It's time.
Remember, the show is framed as Ted telling this story to his teenage kids in the year 2030. The problem is obvious. Kids grow up. The two actors playing them, Lindsay Fonseca and David Henry, were teenagers when the show began in 2005 and grown adults by the end. So back in 2006, during season 2, Bays and Thomas quietly brought the two of them onto a closed set, cleared everyone out except a single camera operator, and filmed the final couch moment that would close the series. The two young actors signed non-disclosure agreements, and they sat on that secret for nearly a decade. Fonseca later said she had pushed it so far out of her mind that she does not even remember what they shot that day. Carter Bays described going back to look at that old footage years later as, in his words, kind of haunting to watch. So the emotional gut punch at the very end of the series was performed by two actors who had no idea, for 8 years, how the story they were ending would actually get there. Number 2, there is a happier ending to this entire show, and CBS basically buried it on a DVD. After the finale aired and the internet caught fire, Carter Bays went on Twitter and admitted something fans did not know. They had two endings. He said that just over 2 weeks earlier, they had been sitting in the edit room trying to decide between two very different conclusions. They only ever shot one script, but through editing alone, they could build two completely different outcomes. And the version that did not air is the one a lot of fans had been begging for.
And start talking.
Excuse me. Hi.
Hi!
I'm
The best man. Yeah, get in here, get in here.
Oh, thanks. Here. Let me.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Great show tonight.
Oh, thank you.
In the alternate cut, Barney and Robin stay happily married, the mother does not die, and the show ends on Ted finally meeting her at the train station, the exact moment the whole series had been building toward. No new footage, just a different edit, stitched together using Bob Saget's narration as future Ted. Roughly 18 minutes of material got cut from the finale overall. Bays said they stood by the ending they chose, but added that in his words, they loved the other version too. So the gentler, cleaner goodbye that might have saved this show's entire reputation does exist. It is just sitting in a bonus features menu instead of in the actual finale. And number 1, while How I Met Your Mother was selling the world a fun little story about love and friendship, one of its stars was quietly going through the scariest fight of her life.
Yeah? How long did it take for you to tell Marshall my biggest secret in the world? 5 minutes?
That wasn't a real secret.
Yeah, but it could have been.
You are driving me crazy. No wonder your fake husband moved to Hong Kong.
In 2007, while filming season 3, Kobe Smulders was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. She was 25 years old. She has since shared that she had tumors on both ovaries and that the cancer had spread into her lymph nodes and the surrounding tissue. Because of where it was, she did not go through standard chemotherapy or radiation. Instead, she had multiple surgeries over about 2 years and was eventually left with roughly a third of one ovary. And through all of it, she kept working. She kept showing up to set and playing Robin while the audience at home had absolutely no idea anything was wrong.
I think I felt like I had a handle on the disease. I felt like I was in recovery. I wasn't actively like waiting on results. I wasn't I wasn't sitting around and watching and waiting for like, what's the next thing gonna be? Like, I had sort of, my treatment plan was in motion and I felt like I had a better handle on it.
She did not make it public until 2015, a year after the show ended, in an interview with Women's Health. She talked about how hard it is to ever feel fully past it, saying she does not think she will ever feel like she is, in her words, cancer-free. She has been in remission for years now, and she has 2 children, which doctors once told her might never be possible. So the next time someone calls this show a silly little sitcom, remember that one of the people making you laugh every single week was doing it through something terrifying and never once let it show. That is the one CBS never advertised. And it is the one that matters most. That is 10 things How I Met Your Mother kept off the billboards. So here's my real question, and be honest with me. Now that you know the ending was filmed back in 2006 and that a happier version was sitting right there the whole time, does that change how you feel about the finale? Or did you secretly not mind it all along? Tell me, I actually want to know. If you made it this far, you love this stuff as much as I do, so hit subscribe. We go this deep on a different show every week.